Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Hi guys.
Hi everybody.
Hello. Look who's here. Baby Samuel, say hello. Say how are you? Samuel, say hello. So Samuel is here, guys, like we promised. Welcome back from what? From the birthdays, from the weddings, from whatever celebration that has been happening. Welcome back to whatever you've been going through. Welcome back. Welcome back to the happy place. Thank you so much for subscribing and keeping and watching our YouTube videos and subscribing and calling everybody to subscribe. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. You want to say hello to the people?
Hi everybody. Thanks for tuning in and for liking my wife's channel. Yeah.
Well, guys, my name is Faith. Again, Faith Tush. And this is the happy place.
Happy place.
And today, like we promised all you, we have
Samuel. Hi Samuel, how are you?
Hi Samuel. How are you?
How are you? How are you?
Andinda. Hello.
Yeah. He's feeling camera
Please
shy.
do not be deceived by what you see right now, because Samuel really has enough words. He talks
a lot of words actually.
Yeah, but like we promised, we had to bring Samuel, and Samuel is here. Andinda Samuel Pittman. He's about 2 months from his birthday, from his second birthday.
Making 2 years.
Yay!
Yeah, so
yeah, so Samuel will be 2 in July. And so we are looking forward to his second birthday, because the first birthday can be there like that, like as if they don't be understanding like what. But right now he sings happy birthday. He really sings happy birthday. So I guess it will be a nice one to look to. So thank you for sharing Samuel's story. We have had people that have reached out to us, people that have called us, saying that they are blessed by Samuel's story and the testimony that is Andinda Pittman. Today, we want to talk about this child. See the way he's looking at me, like as if,
what's this? What am I doing?
Yeah. So today we want to talk about Samuel. Last time, our last video, we told you how the miracle came through, but then you didn't get to know how we found out, we'd conceived. And so today we would like to share Samuel's conception to birth story, so that you can know really why are we celebrating this child so much? Why? Yes, Samuel. Oh, kitty. Why are we celebrating Samuel? Why? What is it about this child? You remember that time when I explained how I did, how I visited so many people, like so many doctors, so many, I don't know, anybody that could help. I visited everybody. So in January over 2019, yes, I visited with Christina Newmill, and very nice lady. She was really kind to me. So she gave me some herbs,
a collection of very many herbs for drinking, powder, for doing what, about what time, in the morning, in the afternoon, evening. And a lot of herbs.
Mama, but they were all natural things, like turmeric, like pineapple, sim, G-nuts, like normal stuff. There was nothing really out of the ordinary. And then she gave me some tea, some cleansing tea, I think, and then some other things that I've forgotten really. It's been 3 years. So I was on that it was supposed to be a detox for 10 days. And then after that, I was supposed to go back to her and do a cleansing, because it happens that before the time I was supposed to do the cleansing, I was having pain, like abdominal pain, so I was not able to. So I told her, I am feeling pain, so I'm not sure I can carry through with the the massage. It's called a castor oil massage. So I told her that. Then she told me, no, Faith, it's okay. Just go through the 10 days detox. Then when you're done with the 10 days, we shall do the massage. So I remember in those 10 days we actually visited with friends of ours in Makula. We are actually in Makula right now.
Yeah,
we're shooting from Makula, from a very, very close friend of ours, Eddie and his wife Scholar. I'm sure you've heard them. Like, I think every video we talk about them. Yeah, they have 3 beautiful children, beautiful home. So that's where we are right now, and that's where we're shooting this video from. We will tell you why again later at the end of this video. So anyway, in that January we came to Makula because our anniversary is in January, so we usually take off a few days before and after our anniversary. So we were in Makula at that time, and I was doing my detox, and for them they were eating meat, what. For me, I was drinking my things. There is a day where you eat peas. There's a day where you eat peas. So I ate some cow fresh peas and some matoke. Hey, it was really nice. Mrs. Jamba made it really nice. So that day I said, hey, Nenga, the 10 days are not ending, because they found us. I lost a lot of weight. And then my husband started to worry and said, Banange, this detox, you're losing weight, because you don't exactly eat. There is particular food that you eat.
You basically don't eat superior goods. You don't eat carbohydrates. Foods. You don't eat the nice stuff, the cool stuff.
But it was healthy. It really was.
The cool stuff.
But it was healthy. It really was. Because then if it wasn't healthy, actually, like, you get to know, then probably would have lost Samuel. But then it was healthy stuff. So the 10 days ended, and we went. It was towards our friend's wedding. Remember the Mujishas?
Sure.
Mr. and Mrs. Mujisha. And so that day, Mrs. Kawoya, my matron, baked their cake. So I went to her home. As you know, we are bakers. So we went to help, to give a hand, to help Mrs. Kawoya in finishing up the cake and what, the baking, the whole thing. While we were talking, Pastor Joy, Mrs. Ekimat, we started to have a conversation. And then she starts to tell me, Faith, why would I believe in something that's not happening? It's been years, like years over years. And she told me, Faith, just have faith. And I told her, I don't have faith. She told me, then you leave us to have our faith. Like, don't take our faith away from us. For us, let's continue believing on God that He's going to do what He promised. And so we talked. She encouraged me. Of course, I cried. They prayed for me and all those things. But anyway, so that Saturday the wedding happened, and then after the wedding we went back home, and that's the week when I felt really ill. I was so sick. Then I said, Manang, over the detox, over the things that my body has been missing food, or baby, like, I started to try and figure out what exactly was happening to me, but I could not. We went to we stay in Chanja, so we just slopped down Kombuzi. There is a medical facility there, Doctors Medical Center, and so we went in there, and then they checked. They ran a full blood count, checked malaria. They checked like several stuff, but nothing, infection or what, urinalysis, all those things. They were kawa. Then the doctor said, well, madam, you are okay, so maybe let's run a pregnancy test. I said, hey, no.
Actually, before the day before we went to the hospital, my wife had gone a few days back, like 2 or 3 days. They ran tests and nothing. They couldn't find anything. So when she came home, 2 days later, there was no improvement. So I was like, no, let's just go back and see if they can check again, and maybe anything could have popped up, if it's malaria, if it's anything. But still, we went and they checked, nothing.
I know. So we came back home. Sunday, we got to church, and I am really sick. That Sunday, we had a launch for our friends Amanyire and his wife, Janat. And after service, Mama Josiah tells me, Faith, you could be pregnant. Maybe you should do a pregnancy test. I said, Mom, no. She said, Faith, if it's the money, then she went to her purse to like pick money for me to buy the test. I said, Mom, it's not about the money, but I don't want it. She said, Faith, just help me. Do this one for me. And I said, no. She said, Faith, promise me you will do it. I said, okay, Mom. But in my mind, I was sure. There was nothing. It was not possible that like all of a sudden, like, it just happened, you know.
From 7 years to date, nothing.
Exactly. So now, you know, it's happening now. So we went for the launch. When we were at the launch, I was with Theo, the bride, my mugole. So I was with Theo and I was telling her, I feel like throwing up and what. So anyway, I went to the bathroom. I went with her and I threw up. So when we were, you know, at the sink, like I'm cleaning up, washing my hands and cleansing my mouth, I tell her, you know, Mom was telling me that I checked for pregnancy, and she said, Mama, don't bother, don't put yourself under pressure. She stopped me like immediately, like she had gone through enough pressure and stress. She did not want another negative test. She said, Neda, Mama, don't bother yourself. In the right time, God will make it happen. Like we encouraged each other. We said, yeah, Mama, we should not do the test and what. So we came back to the car and I ordered for local chicken. And remember, my little sister Kemba went to get the chicken from Wandegeya. We were on Boganda Road. I ate it properly. I ate it properly. We had the lunch. We went back home and I was still not well. I was so sick. So when we went home, I went to the neighbors and I asked for soup. So, Mugole, Mrs. Mujisha, comes out of her and says to me, Faith, Nga, I don't have soup. So I said, no problem. So I called Mrs. Nwajira. She stays in Chitukutwe. Chitukutwe is Chida plus Pastibulindo, as if going to Nakoye. Of it's that far. I told her, please help. Do you have soup in the house? She said, no. I told her, please help me. Just put for me soup. She said, what do you mean? I said, just tomatoes, onions, water and salt. That's all I need. She said, hey, okay, no problem. So I came. We drove from Chanja. We went to Chitukutwe. She gave me a bowl of soup. I took it. Then I asked her to pack for me the balance. So when we were leaving, because my husband was telling me sometimes worms have those side effects.
Yeah, if you haven't dewormed for a long time. So.
If you haven't dewormed for a long time, you can have nausea, you can over what. So he told me maybe we need to deworm. Because maybe he also did. But baby, how could you not even think about that also? Yeah? But anyway, so Mrs. Nwajira, Ella, tells me, Faith, before you do that deworming thing, please do a test. I said, nah. She said, okay, let's do this. Do the test. Don't even look at the results. Just do the test for me. I will come and look at the results so that if it's negative, I am the one who takes the what? The pain of looking at it. You don't have, because we had, I don't know how many strips we had used. So then I also promised her, but I was sure I wasn't going to do it. So Sunday, we come back home Sunday night. Monday, my husband says, Neda, we have to go back to hospital. There must be, you can't be this sick and there is no, you know.
No infection,
no
disease,
nothing.
Yeah, no pain. Yeah, so Monday we go to hospital, to the same hospital that we had been going.
But we find a different doctor.
Home, we found a different doctor. They ran the same tests again and there was nothing. And the guy's like, you know what about we do an HCG?
Yes.
How about we do a pregnancy test? And yeah, he insisted, but then my wife didn't want to do it, and I also had to bring my cousin.
No. Then
I was like, no, let's just do it.
Doctor, let's do it.
Let's do it. So we paid for it.
You said it with a strong voice. You didn't even say politely.
Of course, if you're sick and you don't want to do the test, I'm like, no, let's just do the thing. And if it's negative, we move on. If it's positive, we bless the Lord. So we go to the lab, we do the test. When the results came back, the doctor calls me and is like, I don't know what to tell you. You don't know, as if like he's going to tell me news that I didn't expect or news that I do not want. He's like, I don't know what to tell you, but simanyi naye kirabika ali lubuto. And for him, he was like, you know, like how you give results that you don't want to tell someone.
Okay, because we had like twice I had declined doing the test, so I guess for him he figured maybe we don't want
like
to,
we didn't
like,
want to
something.
have anything to do with it.
Yeah, so
yeah, so he tells me, then I pause. I'm like, seriously? So I had to ask him to show me the results on the screen on the computer before he printed. So I have to make sure that the name is
that
my
they
wife's
didn't
name,
interchange.
that everything is in order, everything is okay. And then he emphasized and he says, I think that's the reason why she has not been feeling well. I sat there, I didn't know what to do. I was in
really
shock.
I
was in shock. So I get up, actually before I got out of his office, I told the doctor, you know what, this is really, really very good news. This is the best news that we have got. We've been married 7 years and we've been waiting on God. 5 years. Sorry, yeah. We've been married
right now. We
5
are married
years,
7 years because it's been 2 years since we had him.
We've been married 5 years and we've been waiting on God. So this is really very good news, and we are very happy. And I was really, really excited. So I came to my wife. I told, she was sleeping. Actually, she had laid on a bed because the results had taken long. So I told her, my love, it's positive.
Just the what?
And she was like, the what? I'm like, you're pregnant. And she refused.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, and it was a very beautiful moment for us. I remember my wife cried. My wife, like I said, when she's happy, she cries. When she's in pain, she cries. When she's excited, she cries. When she's surprised, she will cry. So anytime is crying time. So of course she cried.
Like right now is not crying time.
And then so we had to go to the lab to do a scan to ascertain and to check the weeks, the bichi, all those other things. Yeah, we went to the lab.
So the guy who was doing the scan says, so you know you have fibroids, and we all go like
Not the first time.
Like tell us something else. So he goes like, so you see that little spot right there that keeps
a tiny little
blinking thing like that? That's the heart. Time stood still. I said, heart. There is a heart already, like there is a beating heart. God is so, like at 6 weeks, there was a formed heart already beating.
Of this guy.
Of this. So, of course, I cried some more. I cried, and this part, I was just thinking, God, you are so awesome. How your abilities, your strength, how you're able to, in weeks, create, form a human heart. I'm still in awe of God, by the way. Like every time I see this child, I'm still in awe. So anyway, so of course we come out from the scan, and then my husband starts to say, oh, mama baby.
Of course.
Then he asks me, here I am, Kwado. He asks me, so what do you want to eat?
We had to start buying things like gonja, gweke.
So I asked for liver. Then later on they told us liver was not very good for pregnancy. How quickly we stopped. Then what? But then I started. I really now the other signs just showed up. Now I started to really throw up, like, because even that other week I was throwing up and not so bad. But now every morning, afternoon, evening was throwing up time. Like I couldn't keep anything down. Like I just could not. So that is how, that's how we were. First trimester was really, really hard, but it was also very exciting to know that we had a baby. We had a child that was growing on the inside of me. It still is the most beautiful experience of our lives. And
it was a dream come true for us after 5 whole years of waiting on God.
The journey of pregnancy, we thought that, since we have taken long, God is just going to make it very smooth for us. Mm-hmm. So at 13 weeks, we started to bleed. I bled, and I remember calling my husband and telling him, we are bleeding. So we rushed to hospital. And I was so scared, because any sign of blood really during pregnancy, you're thinking we've lost the baby. So we get to hospital and they run tests and what. But that's no, that was the second time. The very first time, I was crampy. Remember?
Yeah, the very first time.
I was having pain, so we went to Andinda.
Yeah, we went to Andinda.
That's IMC. Yes, Andinda IMC. We saw a general doctor because there was no guy in there. We saw a general doctor. He ran some tests, checked, and said, because of fibroids, that's why you could probably be having these cramps. But call your gyne to be sure. So then we walked to the car, remember? Yes. So we walked to the car to call Dr. Alex, IHK. So while I am on phone talking to him, that's when I started to bleed. Like a gut. I just said, "Doctor, I'm bleeding." So then my husband got the phone and started to talk to the doctor. Doctor said, "Run to hospital, like rush, like come now."
So
now it was the evening hours.
This is 5 o'clock.
This is Andinda.
We
are crossing over
from Andinda to Namuwongo IHK. It's like going through the craziest part of jam of town.
Traffic.
Evening traffic. And we just had no option. We had to do double indicators.
And
we just hit the road quickly. There was a lot of traffic. By God's grace, I think also God knew. We saw there was an ambulance
coming.
First was
an ambulance.
I just said, "Don't know Simuleka." We just followed the ambulance up to Nakawa, the junction of Nakawa. The ambulance just
took another road,
took the different side. And by God's grace, we found
at the High Court.
We reached Andinda. No, we reached Nakawa Court.
Yes.
Then there was, I think, the judge had finished his work and he was.
So he was also leaving.
He was leaving, going home. And
we
by
said
the
this
grace
one
of
is
God,
another one.
He was going the direction we were going. We said, "No, we cannot leave this one." We hit the road. We followed the patrol, the judge, and that was the time when I think some guy had been shot by security. He was following the judge. So but no, I mean, if they shoot, they shoot. Let's just go. So we followed the patrol, the convoy quickly up to the town of Namuwongo industrial area.
Was out.
Muyenga, where the traffic stopped. That's why he branched off, and we also branched off to hospital.
To IHK.
And quickly we had to run to the
emergency.
COVID times. Yeah, it was COVID times. So we had to run to the emergency section quickly. And we attended to. Really.
Yes, we were. So during the examination, then the doctor says, well, let's do a scan to be sure. That doctor was Dr. Tiri at the very first guy that checked me, the available guy at IHK. So we went and did the scan, and Joanne, that lady, if we have a girl, we should name her Joanne. But she was really kind. She told me, Faith, relax. The child is there. We need to talk to your guy and find out the cause of the bleeding, but the baby is there. And that for us was enough. Of course, we were admitted. I think, for 3 days.
Yeah, for 3 days.
And we continued to bleed, by the way. We continued to bleed. Even on, I think, the third day, the bleeding increased. But still, we did a scan and the baby was. Meanwhile, he was there with no problems. Like around him, he was kawa. It was just, the fibroids and what that were causing the issue. So we went back home. And then we were
discharged. We went home.
Week 14.
Of course, we were put to bed rest.
Yeah,
we were
complete.
Told, total bed rest. The longest distance my wife could move was from the bed to the bathroom, because the doctors advised that some of the things that would trigger the contractions and the bleeding is a lot of movement, activity, and exercise. So, one total bed rest, which was another challenge because my wife is an all-over, a people person. She doesn't like to be in one place, and she was on bed rest. So we we were home. We progressed well until
week 17.
Week 17, yeah, 17. The same thing happened. The bleeding continued, like it
Came
occurred
back.
again, and we had to rush to hospital again quickly, and we were admitted again. So it was still the same story. Managed the bleeding. The heartbeat was there. The doctors were
Dr.
by
Alex.
our side. Dr. Alex was there. He was all the
Thorough guy.
time following up and checking on us and attending to us. And still,
He
3
gave
days
me
later,
some hormonal tablets to
yeah,
help
he had to balance the hormones. And 3 days later, we were discharged after 3 days. And told the contractions might come, but they'll be manageable. They gave us drugs for the contractions. And yeah, the contractions went down. Then, I think 2 weeks later, they came back intense.
The contractions were really
The
more because that was
contractions came.
week 20.
Yeah, week 20.
It was a Saturday, I remember.
So we went to hospital. They did the same test, and they called Dr. Alex and was like, what do we do?
Admit
And
her.
then he said,
It is
admit
fine.
immediately.
Admit her immediately.
And then we were
We
like,
looked at her, we said,
yeah.
Dr. Pius. This one was Dr. Pius. We
Like,
said, Dr.
Musa,
Pius. Neda.
we have gone through this for a long
Yeah.
time, please. If
Please,
there's a
doctor,
way,
let us go home.
Just discharge us. So,
He said, but your doctor has advised. We said, no, we beg you.
yeah, because we'd gone through the same
very
thing,
expensive.
contractions, and it was not cheap. So,
He
talked
let
to
us
Dr.
go.
Alex, and we're like, yeah,
Dr. Pius, yeah.
let them go. So, we went home, and the contractions
Oh, no,
went
that's
down,
when
yeah.
we actually did the scan.
Yeah, we did the scan at 18 weeks, I think.
Yes, they did the
Yeah, we
scan.
did the scan,
and
then
Sam,
we found out
my
that
husband
it
keeps
was a
saying
boy.
that I talk about that scan. It's called?
They are normally scanned. She talks about it as if she's the inventor. Yeah, so we did the scan. That's how we found out it was a boy.
Yes.
All the parts
So
were
John asked us,
formed.
do you want to know, what kind of baby you're carrying? We said, of course. He said, oh, you're carrying a baby boy. Yeah, so if you remember in the story, the part where I thought that my husband was not happy that we were carrying a boy, that was the part. But we were really happy. So that's when we found out Samuel
That were
was
carrying
there.
a boy, and
So then we came back home very excited. 25th July, Mr. and Mrs. Numajara's anniversary. If you know me, you know I love parties. So we had friends over. I wanted to do a surprise for Ella, and I tried to work with her husband, but it didn't work so well. But it happened. So anyway, so I had friends over at my house, and we were cooking a lot of food, of course. And so we carried the food over to the Nwajiras. It was a happy day, really. We enjoyed it, celebrated them. We had a lot of cake. And then after that, we were supposed to drop Theo in Seta. So the Nwajiras said, you know what? Instead of using your car, you guys take the Subaru. Use the Exiga. So we said, hey, Kawa, because it's everything, it's faster, it's no issues and all those things. So we dropped to Seta and dropped the Auntie Samuel. She calls herself Auntie Samuel. So we dropped Theo, and then we made our way back. Now, when we were coming back, remember, I threw up. Mm-hmm. I was feeling funny, but then I was tired. It had been a long day, and it had been a while since I had something like that, So when we got to the house, I took a bath, and I had asked my husband to help me with something to eat. I was hungry even if I was from a party. You know how pregnancy can be. So when I was coming out of the bathroom, I just had a gush of water, and I shouted, "My love, your water, my love!" And he was mixing. He was running the mixer, and he was like a room away from me, so he couldn't hear. So I screamed again, and then he heard, so he came. Then he said, oh my God, he first went, stopped the mixer. Then he said, okay, get the medical documents, get the insurance cards, and then we just put like a few things together, and we took off. Nothing, like we had nothing. We didn't even think that the baby was coming. So we thought it was one of those situations, like the blood this time it was manage what. So, but when we have for the party in Chitukwe that my wife talks about, we had many people to drop, and by then, remember, cars would only carry
3 people. But then since it was a 7-seater, it could carry maybe 4 people. Yeah, so that's how we swapped cars with our friends, the Nwajiras. They gave us their car, which was a 7-seater. It was new, it was fast, it was a Subaru. If you know Subaru, you know.
Still is a Subaru.
Yeah, so we got to Seta, we dropped a friend, and then on our way back home.
Yes, baby. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so actually we get home and then the water breaks, and quickly the first thing we had to do was to rush to hospital, because the other time it was blood, and now with the water breaking we knew what to expect, but we didn't want to think about that. And we had to, you know, imagine like it's not going to happen that we'll give birth at night.
I know.
Yeah.
So we tried to call Dr. Alex. His phone was off, and that was very rare, like strange. Like we always called him and his phone was always on. So, but then we called Dr. Okulo, Emmanuel, the pastor worship harvest. He's also a guy at IHK and TMR. Kalango for Dr. Emmanuel. So we call him and he says, okay, I am not at the hospital right now, but go and go now. So we told him we're already on our way. He said, whoever is there is going to help. I am going to be in touch. So we get to hospital and then we find Dr. Rosette. Dr. Rosette, the beloved Dr. Rosette, helps us. She had done one of our checks in one of those scenarios of bleeding, so we were not new to her. She said, oh, Faith, you here again? I said, yes, doc, and this time, like, my water, like, I don't understand what this is. It's just this water, and it's not stopping. When they checked, they said the water is reducing around the baby's manyabichi. Then they said, because it was 7 months, first of all, she first made it clear that we were going to get the baby out. Like, there was no waiting because the water had reduced and there was nothing they could, like, it's a natural process. Like, they can't insert water. Like, that particular one, I know that doctors have tried to invent things, but she said this particular one,
so
we have to get this child out. So then we called our friends. My husband called our friends. He was more stable than I was. I was just praying for the child. I was just thinking, how is the child going to survive 7 months? Does he have... Okay, I know that we had already seen that he had all body parts, but I was just, you know, thinking about so many things. So Dr. Rosette, they put me in some room like this, like a special room. Then they start to monitor me like through the night. So that's why he said my phone was off. He didn't even know his phone had blacked out, like it was that bad. So then Dr. Emma told Rosette, you know what, Rosette, let's save the baby, save the mother, do whatever you can. We will get Alex somehow, but for now, just proceed. So they started to look for the heartbeat. Guys, the heartbeat there. There was that midwife called Oli. We should beg for Oli a cake. She kept telling me, Kakana Faithy, be calm. But in my mind, I'm thinking, you have no idea how badly we want that heartbeat, to hear that heartbeat. But there was nothing. And so Dr. Rosette came in, I think about 5 a.m. and she said, okay, let me do the last what? The last check. Let's just check one more time, Faith. And she said, Faith, there is no guarantee. I mean, you know that process of trying to start to prepare you that, you know, if we have lost the baby, you know, because there was so much silence, no kicking, no nothing. And yet previously he had been such an active baby. So Dr. Rosette gets her scan, that ultrasound, whatever, and then she puts on me and she tries. Then my husband stood at the door and he had red eyes. I told him, baby, there is no heartbeat. He first stepped away. So she put here, there was nothing. Then she put somewhere on the side and Samuel kicked. Like, it was such a loud kick. It was so, like, it was boom. Then she said, that's a heartbeat. Then I said, are you sure? She said, yeah, that's a heartbeat. Let's go. Because the moment he kicked, the reports later show that he kicked what? there was a fibroid that was seated on my cervix. Actually, it worked in our favor for the part of the pregnancy because it helped us. The guy kept telling us that particular one is actually a good one because it's closing your cervix, so the baby has nowhere to pass, you know, in case of loss and what. But then when it was anagamba, this is it, we're done here, boom. So then I bled. So Dr. Rosette said, we have to go now. Call Dr. Okulo. Okulo said, no, go, Rosette, go. let's just save whatever we can save. So we got to my husband, they made him sign stuff there. They first gave me that injection drug to help his lungs. There's the one that they give, they are supposed to be two doses. They give them 8 hours apart, but I was only able to get one because of the scenario. So now we go to a theater. My mama Mwanguzi was at the door of theater. She drove in the night, came from Jinja that night, and drove like 7 a.m. I'm entering theater. She is there, and I'm thinking, oh. So anyway, so she prayed for us and said, Mukama, you know my mom. If you know my mom, if you've met my mom, so she prayed all those things, and then I told her, mommy, time, because like every second actually mattered. Like every second that Samuel was spending in the pool of blood was taking life from him. So we got to theater, 7:15, and Andinda was out.
I think at that point when the baby kicked and blood came, before that we were trying to manage and see if we can buy any other 1 minute, because the doctor said if we can buy any 1 minute and the situation stabilizes, then we might have to proceed to continue with the pregnancy as normal. But then when he kicked and they saw blood, we're like, this is now emergency. It's an issue of emergency. And immediately, that's how she was wheeled to theater, rushed to theater, and it didn't take long. In a few minutes.
7:15, I remember looking at the clock.
It was around maybe like 30 minutes after she entered theater, Samuel came to us. And Samuel was born at 30 weeks.
Yeah, so 26th July 2020, our very own, say hello.
Our very own Samuel.
Our very own Samuel came.
At 30 weeks.
And that's how Samuel came early. So those of you who have been asking, I tell these preterm things that we're hearing. So then, but the rest of the story will be in the coming episodes. So that was introduction to Samuel. That is how he came to us, and that is how he is here, and that is how the Lord continues to take all the glory, because really, not by power, not by might, but by the Spirit of the Lord. So here is Andinda Samuel Pittman. Do you want me to carry you? Should I carry you? Do you want to go and play with Big Brother?
Remember when you wanted to carry him and you cried?
Okay, so that's it. That's how we found out we conceived. That was our pregnancy journey in brief, and that is how Samuel came. You will get to know the rest of the story in the coming episodes. Stay tuned and please keep subscribing. Hit the
subscribe button.
Yeah, so please keep subscribing. Invite more people. Share, comment, like, and let God receive all the glory and honor. Thank you very much
and bye-bye
for watching, and bye-bye.